Hello, students. My name is Sonia Malik. I'm your coding teacher and mentor. So, in this video, you will be seeing various practice questions on conditional statements and loops to get hands on practice with coding problems. Okay? All the best. Thank you. Hello, students. Today, we will be covering practice questions for whatever I have taught you by now, right? Whatever I have taught you by now, we will be covering practice questions on the same. So let's get started. Okay, let's get started. We'll be solving some practice questions so that you can use your theoretical knowledge that I have taught you to solve something practical, right? Practice questions, practice questions on various topics covered till now. Okay. So the first question is, let us start with very warm up question. You know what is warm up question? Very basic. Very basic. Okay. First question, check if a num is divisible by 2 or not. This is very basic. This is warm up question to start, right? How do you check if a number is divisible by 2? What concept you will use here? If else condition. If else condition, right? If else condition. So how do you implement that? I already taught you. How do you implement that? Okay. If keyword, open round parenthesis, and say, firstly, you have to, before saying anything, you have to declare a num. Because you want to check now if num is divisible by 2. So you have to declare or define whatever you call, and then you have to write cout, enter the number. Yes, cout, enter the number. Let's quickly wind this question. This is very basic. Then we will start from very good questions, right? Okay. Enter the number. Then you, how do you take input? In, right shift num, right? This is how you take input. Then what you do? After user has given the number, what you will do? Num modulo 2 equal to 0. If num is divisible by 2, write num is divisible by 2. Divisible by 2, right? Why I have not written this num inside these parentheses? Because I want to print that value itself, not num. Num will be hard coded, right? Otherwise it will show num is divisible by 2, but I want to get that value, that 10 is divisible by 2, 20 is divisible by 2. That's why I have written num outside these parentheses. Otherwise it will be hard coded, right? In the else part, what you will write? Else cout num is not divisible by 2. Divisible by 2, right? Let us run it off. Let us run this off, this warm up question, and see what we will get, right? This is the warm up question. Okay, so it is asking me to enter the number. Suppose I write 13. Suppose I write 13. 13 is not divisible by 2. 13 is not divisible by 2. If I would hard code it, if I would write like this, num, then see what will be the output. Let me enter 12. So it is saying num is divisible by 2. This is not looking nice. When it is saying that 12 is divisible by 2, it was looking nice. That's why we are writing 12, right? Like this, okay? So this is the warm up question for the starting. Hope you are very much clear with this, like how to check something. If you have to check something, you are using conditional statements. The best one is if else conditions, right? For multiple cases, you write multiple if else if like that. For reducing that if else, you use switch case, right? Based on your requirements. So let me erase it off for the next question. This is the warm up question. So what is the main course question? The main core question will be starting from here. So pay attention. This is the first question of programming practice set, right? Okay. Calculate, you will think in your mind this question. Calculate the sum of 1 to n elements, right? Calculate the sum of 1 to n elements. How do you write that? How do you write that? Think in your minds. How do you program this question? Think in your mind. How do you calculate the sum of first two n numbers? Firstly, realize this thing. They are not asking you the sum of one element. They are not asking you the sum of one element. They are asking you the sum of 1 to n elements, multiple elements sum they are asking. So I have already taught you, when someone is asking you calculate something of multiple elements, how do you do that question? You use a for loop. For multiple things, multiple elements, you use a for loop. Let us say, let us say n is, let us say n, let us declare and define n. Let us say n is 34. N is 34 is very greater number. So we will, it will become very difficult to dry run on this 34. So we'll take smaller number, right? So that dry run can become easy and understandable, right? Suppose I have taken int n5. Now, and I have to start from, what is the starting point? Start is 1, because I have told you calculate the sum of 1 to n elements. So starting is 1 and then going up to n. So how do you write a for loop? Think in your minds. How do you write a for loop for this? Firstly, write a for loop. Then we'll tell you how to calculate the sum. So how do you write a for loop? Write the for keyword, open the round parenthesis, and firstly you have to also initialize an I variable, so that you can put this I, initialize this I in the round parenthesis of for loop. This is the syntax of for loop now. Initializing some I named variable, then writing I is equal to 1, because it is starting from 1. What do you write in this part? You write the starting, where it is starting. It is starting from 1, because the question is saying 1 to n, right? Then how you separate the part of the houses? How do you separate three parts of this round brackets? You put a semicolon, right? You put a semicolon. Then think carefully, from where this I started, 1, and from where it is going to n. So what do you write here? I less than equal to n. Yes, less than equal to n. It means less than equal to 5. We will be calculating the sum from 1 to 5. Then what do you do? What do you do? I plus plus, incrementing it by 1. Why? Because you have to calculate the sum of 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. These numbers starting from 1 ending at 5. You have to calculate the sum of these 5 numbers. That's why it is starting from 1, it is going up to n, and then I plus plus, leaving 1, like 1 2 3, like that. Okay, then open curly braces. Okay, now the main thing starts. This you already know. Now the main thing starts, how to calculate the sum. I already told you on the first day, whatever instructions you want your computer to perform, you have to write in this curly braces. It's not like every time you have to write some printing statement like see out this, see out that. No. Calculations are also done in the curly braces, right? Calculation is also done in this curly braces, not just the print statement. How will you proceed further with this? Tell me quickly. Think in your minds. Okay. So you have to calculate sum. For that, you have to create a variable to store that sum into something. Don't worry, I'll be dry running out this for loop to make sure that you are clear with this question. Don't worry, right? Okay. So firstly, they're asking you to calculate the sum. That's why you will create a variable called sum. What is the, like, what will be the sum? Can you randomly tell me, like, what is the sum? 15. What is 15? Integer data type. That's why you create int sum. With what value you will initialize it? Okay, you have declared. Let us suppose you have declared here. Now initialize it. Initialize it. With what value you will initialize? If I add 0 to a 15, 0 plus 15, it will become 15 only, because 0 will not impact on your sum. Why? Every time when you have to create calculate sum now, you have to initialize this sum variable by 0, because otherwise if you're not initializing it now and then directly using it here, like doing something like that, sum plus equals to, don't worry about the syntax, I'll tell you, sum plus equals to I, then what will happen, this sum will store some garbage value, right? Forget about this line, I know it's confusing, I'll tell you this. So what I'm saying, initialize this sum with something, with some value. Listen carefully. Initialize this sum variable with some number that will not impact your sum. Why we are initializing? Otherwise, the garbage value will be stored. If you are not initializing any variable with something, na, automatically garbage value is stored there. Garbage value, some random xyz, something like 1 1 2 2 3 3, like that. Garbage value will be stored if you are not initializing some variable, or any variable, let us say. If you're not initializing this sum, then garbage value will be stored, so initialize it with 0. Now you will say teacher, listen carefully, very, very important. Now you will say like teacher, Sonia, why only initializing with 0? Like why you have initialized this thing with 0? Oh, this is declared, and this is initialized, right? Initialized. Now you're saying like Sonia, why you have initialized this with 0? Why not with 1? Why not with 2? Listen, see this 15th line I am doing. Why not you have initialized this with 2? Why not you have initialized this with 200? Why not with 2000? Why not with 45? 2045? Why only 0? Because you have to initialize with such a number which will not impact your original answer. If I initialize this sum with 34, and I'll add the sum of these 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, and I'll write 34 plus 15, then my answer will change. You know, my answer will be 49. Is the sum of these 5 elements 49? No, it is not 49, it is 15. Where this 49 came from? Because you have already given this some variable a 34 value. That's why it gets added to this original answer, and my original answer got incorrect. That's why why initialize with something? So that garbage value will not be stored. Why initialize with 0? Such that it will not impact your answer. It will not impact your answer. Okay, it will not impact your answer, because 0 plus something is 0 plus 15 is 15 only, so it is not affecting your answer. The sum of 1 2 3 4 5 is 15 only, and this 0 is not impacting, so it is performing both things. Neither it is allowing any garbage value to store, and nor it is impacting the answer. That's why this 0 is perfect to initialize our variable with. And when I'll be showing you the dry run of this question, now you will be very much clear. Believe me, you will realize why with this sum is there, why we have initialized it with some number. You will be very clear. Okay, so we have initialized the sum because they're asking to calculate the sum. So we have to return this variable in which the sum is stored, because when you are performing some calculations now, you have to use a container to store that answer always, right? In which you will store, where you will store the answer, where you will store the 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 15 in some variable now, because it is a variable. This 15 is a variable, right? Number, so you have to store in integer data type variable, right? Okay, so what is the syntax? I will be writing one line and you will be getting lots of doubts. I know you will be very much doubtful when I'll be writing this line, but I will explain you step by step each thing. Believe me, sum equals to sum plus I. This is how you add numbers from 1 to 5. Do you know what happened? Do you know what happened? Doing this, what happened? Let me see. Let me tell you by doing dry run. Let me erase this comment outlines, otherwise this will confuse you. Okay, then let me make it neat and clean code, right? Neat and clean code. Let me make it neat and clean code. Yeah, okay. Okay. Pay attention to this. If you crack this question, now this question is one of the programming question that asked in companies. Basic question, right? Pay attention. So why I have written this? Let me tell you very nicely. Okay. Let me show you the dry run. Okay. Dry run. Then you will be getting clarity over it. Dry run, right? Okay. So you are very confirmed that you have to start taking sum from 1 and taking it to 5. Sum is initialized with 0 so that it will not impact your answer. Plus I have missed some semicolon. So I added here, right? Here. Okay. So tell me, your sum was 0. Am I writing something wrong? No. In the 19th line, your sum is 0. Okay. Your sum was 0. Okay. Enter the loop. I equals to 1. Say with me. Say with me. This is the first part. This is again and again same thing I am telling you. Okay. Bear with me. Okay. This is how you run inside a for loop. These are the four steps. These are the four steps you run inside a for loop, right? Okay. First enter the for loop. I equals to 1. Yes. I less than equal to n. Is 1 less than equal to 5? Yes. The condition is true. Enter this for loop. See my cursor. Enter this for loop. What instructions you are provided with? They are saying sum equals to sum plus I. Sum equals to sum plus I. Okay, let me raise it off. It is getting it is I have erased this 3 because I have to write something else here. Sum was 0. I told you that you will not change this. Okay, let me write 3 only. Okay, let me show you this in dry run. Sum was 0, right? Now it is saying sum equals to sum plus I. What does this mean? What does this mean? It means sum equals to, because I have told that this will not be changed. Because on the left side of an equal to sign, there is always a variable name, right? Sum equals to, what is the sum? What is the sum value? 0. Put a 0 here. Put a 0 here. Plus, what is this I? What is this I? 1. Sum equals to, see, sum equals to sum value plus 1. This is what I write. Sum equals to sum plus plus I. This is what I wrote, right? So now your sum will become what your sum will become? Sum equals to, what is 0 plus 1? 1. Now this sum is not 0. This has become 1 because you have stored 0 plus 1, right? Update this value of sum. This is become 1 now. Okay. Initially it was 0, but now it has become 1. Okay. Now officially declared that sum equals to 1. Okay. Again, okay, this statement we have run, we have got sum equals to 1. Now what is the fourth step? This increment operator, unary operator. Now we have done I plus plus to 2. Change this by, you don't have to change this. You have to write I is equal to 1 only. This is just I am writing to show you the dry run. Okay, I becomes 2. I becomes 2. Okay. The original code is this only. I is equal to 1, I less than a. This is just I'm telling to show you. Just I'm showing you like how it is working. Okay, you have to write I is equal to 1 only. This is just a dry run to show you. Now your I has become 2. 2 is less than equal to 5. Then again enter the loop. Perform this operation. How do you do this? Sum equals to, what is your sum now? What is the value of sum? 1. 1, what is this? This is plus, sum plus I. So 1 plus, what is your I now? It is 2. What is your I now? 2. Okay. So what does this sum become? Sum becomes 3. Getting here, getting up to here. Now sum is 3, not 0, not 1. Okay. Clear. Okay. After executing this, go here. Again increment. Your I will again become 3. Your I will again become 3. It is 1 only, but for dry run, I am showing that it is 3. Okay. The original code is you have to write this. This you have to write. Where it is starting, just I am dry running it. That's why I am changing the values. Okay. I has become 3. 3 is less than equal to 5. enter this for loop. Enter this for loop. Again perform the same operation. Sum equals to, what is the value of sum? 3. What is this? Plus, what is the value of I? 3. What does it become? What does it become? Tell me quickly. 6. 3 plus 3 is 6. Now your final value of 6 is, sum is 6. Okay. Now again increment. Your I will become 4. I will become 4. 4 is less than equal to 5. Again enter this for loop. Again perform this sum operation. Sum equals to, what is the value, current value of your sum? Current value is the latest value. That is 6. 6 plus, 6 plus, what is the value of I? Check here. What is the value of I? 4. 6 plus 4. What your sum becomes by now? What your sum becomes by now? Tell me quickly. Sum equals to 10. Now, after performing this, increment the value of sum. What you will get? 5. Your I will become 5. Check this condition. 5 less than equals to 5. It is true. Enter this for loop. What your sum becomes? Sum equals to, what is the current value of sum from previous operation? 10. 10 plus, what is the current value of this I? See here, what is the current value? 5. It will become, what will your sum becomes? Tell me quickly. Tell me quickly. Your sum becomes 15, right? Again increment. After performing this operation for I is equal to 5, again increment. I is equal to 6 now because I plus plus. 6. Check if 6 is less than equal to 5. It is not. Break out of the loop. Break out of the loop. Now you have gathered, you have collected the sum equals to 15, but now you have to print it. Come outside of the for loop and print it. P out sum. Okay, after performing these calculations, print the sum, right? The sum of numbers from 1 to, what is the value of n? Simply n. Don't hard code it again because it is mentioned. Is, what is this sum? Sum. This is how you print it. Whatever I have to print exactly, I have written inside these parentheses. Then the value of n is given, so I have not hard coded it. Again, I have written is, and then some value is also there, right? So let us see what will be the output. Let me comment out this, otherwise it will impact compiler will think that this is the important lines too. Okay, so we have to comment out this as well. Let us see what is the answer. Yeah, the sum of numbers from 1 to 4. Oh, oops, what just happened? Oh, what just happened? Okay. Oh, see this correction. When I was dry running and explaining you, I have left the value I equals to 6. It should be 1, right? I told you no, that I will be 1 only. It's just for the dry run purpose, I am again and again changing this value to show you the current value of I, right? It will be 1 only because you are told from 1 to n. Let us run this again, right? For the sake of dry running, I am changing the values. Okay. The sum of numbers from 1 to 5 is 15. I am sure that you are very much clear with this by now, right? Is this question clear? Tell me quickly, guys. Is this question clear? This is how you calculate the sum of 1 to n numbers. Okay, 1 to n numbers. Why I have printed this sum outside the for loop? Because I don't want to perform the sections again and again. The sum is this, the sum is this. I want to collect the sum of 1 to n numbers, and then coming out of the loop, I have to print it. If you're doing like this now, suppose if you're doing like this, sum, if you're again and again printing this, see what you will get. Again and again, you will get the updated sum. See this. Okay. First, the sum was 0, then you added 1, it becomes 1. Then it becomes 2 after adding 2. Then 6. Then 10. This is, I have already showed you this in dry run, how the sum has been changed from 1, 3, 6, 10, 15. Okay. There is no need of printing all these 136 like that. Only print the final answer, right? Final answer, because the companies have to get have to see the final answer, right? Dry run on your own, but get the final answer, right? So that's why I'm not printing it again and again. It is not giving me any good looks, right? Like that. Okay, so this is the code, this is the printing statement. So after commenting it out, this is the beautiful code that you can code. Okay, let me erase it off, let me erase it off. And okay, this is the final piece of code for calculating the sum of elements from 1 to n. This is the final code. Are you clear with this syntax and everything? Are you clear with this code? Okay, I assume that you're clear, and if not, then we can have discussion when I will be called for a mentor session, right? Okay. So I am hoping that this is clear. I recommend all of you to take a pen and a paper, and try it on your own, okay, with some other number. How to calculate some? Dry run it, step by step, right? Okay. The next question, which is very much similar to this question only, very much similar. What is this question? Very much similar, guys. Calculate the product. Now don't calculate the sum. Calculate the product. Product. Calculate the product of 1 to n elements. How do you do that? How will you do that? Okay, how will you do that? Calculate the product of 1 to n elements. How will you do that? Tell me quickly. Think in your minds. So here when you have calculated sum, you have written sum is equal to 0. Why you have initialized? Because the garbage value will not be stored otherwise, right? And why you have only stored with 0? Because this will not impact your answer. This is just to avoid the garbage value being stored, right? Now for product, think carefully, think carefully. Suppose I am writing something here. Suppose if you want to if you want to calculate the product, what do you mean by product? Multiplication of 1 2 3 4 5, that is 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. What if you want to calculate the product of these 5 numbers? Tell me quickly, guys. What if you want to calculate the product of these numbers? So can you okay, this is clear that instead of this sum you will write a product variable name, because I have sum was also okay, but I have told you write that variable name that is clearly understood. If you are calculating the product and you are writing variable name as sum, this will the programmer, the others will think that this is a program for summing the elements. So you have to write product here. This will not make your questions wrong, but this is not the right way, like calculating product and writing the variable name as sum. Okay, don't be that much lazy. This is, see how beautiful this is looking, int product. Now tell me quickly, with what value you will same. Sum and product code is same, just little bit of logic is changed, right? Okay, now I have initialized with product, the variable name is product. See, with what value I will initialize? I have put a question mark here. Can you see in the line number 14? So I am asking you guys, think in your minds with what value you will initialize. You have to initialize for sure so that the garbage value will not be stored. But with what value you will initialize? I already told you, initialize with something that will not impact your answer. See, what is the answer of this 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5? Tell me quickly. 1 into 2 is 2, then 2 into 3 is 6, 6 for the 24, 24, 5 the 120. So the product of this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 120, right? The product is 120. So tell me something that I will multiply with this 120 that will not impact my answer. This you have to do now, like you were doing here, sum plus. So instead you have to take product. That's why what number I should initialize this product with that it will not impact your answer. Suppose I'm initializing it with 0. Will it impact your answer? Yes. Why? Because 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5 gives you 120, and then when you multiply this 120 with 0, your answer becomes 0. This is the main disadvantage of initializing product variable with 0, because whatever number you will have, it will become 0 if you will multiply any number with 0. Try multiplying, try initializing this product value with 2. Try initializing with that. What it will become? 240. Is 240 your actual answer? No, it is not. Your answer should be 120, but it is coming 240. So it means initializing with this value 2, it is not good. So we have to initialize this product by 1, because 1 into something is the number itself. Sum, taking 0 in sum will not impact your answer, taking 1 in product will not impact your answer. This is the two tricks that I have taught you. Whenever you have to calculate sum, initialize the variable with 0, because 0 plus something will give the original answer. It will not impact your answer, not change. Okay, but for product, use 1 into something, because 1 into something will give you the number only. It will also not impact your answer, right? So initialize this product with 1, because 120 into 1 will give 120 only, not 240, right? So that is the logic, right? So this change you have to make in the calculating the product. Firstly, change the variable name from sum to product. Then initialize this product with 1 and not 0. And then how do you calculate sum? Okay, this logic will be same. Starting the loop from 1, going it to n. This is same, because you have to calculate the product of 1 to n only. But you have to calculate the product. So change this sum variable name with product, because you have taken the variable name as product, right? And then change this with product as well. Then tell me if you will write plus here or a multiply here, because you have to calculate multiplication product. Change this plus sign to the multiply sign. Okay, and note the sum, but the product of numbers from 1 to n is product, right? This is the code for calculating the product of numbers from 1 to 5. Let me show you the dry run for this logic. And now I will not be changing this value of I, otherwise it will confuse you. Okay, and it is giving wrong answers, because I am changing its value while dry running, like while explaining you. Okay, I equals to 1 initially. See this, see the logic from line number 20, right? See this. Okay, I equals to 1, check. I less than equal to n, that is 1 less than equal to 5. Enter inside this for loop and perform the operations. What operations? Product equals to, what is the initial value of product? That is 1. What is this sign all about? Multiply. What is the value of I? 1. It means the product became the product, the new product has become, the product value is 1, because 1 into 1 is 1, right? Okay. Okay, now the product has become 1. Now the product value has changed to 1. Okay, now I plus plus, it become, your I has become 2 right here. I has become 2 now, and product is 1. I has become 2. Okay, now check if 2 is less than equal to n. 2 is less than equal to 5. Yes, it is less than equal to 5. Okay, enter the for loop, because the condition is correct. Again calculate the product. Product equals to, what is your product value now? 1. Put 1 here. Multiply, what is your I for now? 2. 2. Now the product has become 2. Okay. Okay, we have performed this for I is equal to 2. Now increment this, I plus plus 2 plus plus, what it will become? I will become 3. I equals to 3. Then again calculate the product. Product equals to, what is the value? What is the latest value of your product? 2. 2 into, what is the latest value of your I? 3. Okay, it will become, what it will become? The product is 6, right? Then again, after performing this for I is equal to 3, increment this I plus plus. What it will become? 4. Your I will become 4. Calculate the product again. Calculate the product again. Product equals to, what is the value of your latest product? It is 6. Into, what is the value of your I? 4. What it will become? What it will become? Tell me quickly, guys. What it will become? Product is 24. After performing this for I is equal to 4, do a I plus plus. It will become 5. Now your I has become 5, right? Again, calculate the product. Calculate the product equals to, what is the value of product? What is the current value? That is 24. 24 into, what is your I by now? It is 5. 5. What is your product becomes now? Product is, product is, wait. Product is 120. Again this, your I will become 6, right? I becomes 6. Check if 6 is less than equal to 5. No, it is not. Then break out of the loop. Break out of the loop, guys, right? Is this dry run is clear to you guys? क्या आपको ये dry run समझ आया? For the product, I have explained each and every step. What is the value of I? What is the value of product? See, this formula I have used again and again. Product is equal to product into I. See this. Product is equal to 1 into 1. Product is equal to 1 into 2. Product is equal to 2 into 3. Product is equal to 6 into 4. This, for this value I have evaluated again and again. Why again and again? Because it is inside a for loop. That's why multiple times the same thing I have to perform, right? I hope by now you are clear with how to calculate the product of numbers from 1 to n. I am very sure about this, that by now you are very much comfortable with how to calculate the product of numbers from 1 to n, right? Shall we proceed to the next question? Shall we proceed to the next question? By now, 3 questions I had taught. Check if a number is divisible by 2. Calculate the sum of numbers from 1 to n. Calculate the product of numbers from 1 to n. Right? Okay. So let us proceed to the next question. Let us proceed to the next question. So let me erase it off. Let me erase it off. Okay. Okay. Let me zoom it up. What is the next question? Can you guys guess? You, of course, you cannot guess because it is with me. Only I know, right? Okay. So what is the question number 4? Question number 4. Count. See the question carefully. Count the odd numbers in 1 to n numbers. What it is asking you? To count the n numbers from 1 to n. You have to count in a number, in a series of 1 to n numbers. You have to count how many odd numbers are there. How many odd numbers are there? Odd numbers, right? Odd numbers are there. Okay. So what you have to do? Do you guys have any idea like what you have to do? Of course, it is asking for numbers from 1 to n. That's why you have to use a for loop. It is very much clear that you have to use a for loop. So firstly, I am initializing this n variable, defining this n variable. Then I am putting a value. N is equal to, let us say we have to calculate the odd numbers from 1 to 45, right? 45 we will say. Okay. How do you do that? Okay, initialize a variable I for the for loop. Write a for loop with the for keyword, open the brackets, I equals to 1, because you have to count the odd numbers from 1 to 45. That's why initializing this I with 1. I less than equal to n, where n is 45. I plus plus. I plus plus. Okay. Okay. Open the curly braces. Now how will you do this? Again the same logic. How will you do this? Check what you have to do. Earlier you found the product, you found the sum. Now you have to count the number of odd numbers here from 1 to 45. How will you do that? Okay, let me tell you, tell me how will you print The odd numbers. Tell me this much only. I'm very much satisfied. I'll be getting satisfied by this only. Like, tell me, how will you print the odd numbers from 1 to n? You will say, if I modulo 2 not equal to 0, it means some remainder left. If it is not dividing by 0, then this number is a odd number, because every odd number are not completely divisible by 2. That's why see out I. This is how you will print odd numbers. Let me run this code, and let us see if this will print the odd numbers or not. Oh, sorry guys, I have run the F12 key. Okay. Woo! It is printing us odd numbers from 1 to 45. See how beautiful output is there. It is saying 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, 25, 27, 29, 31, 33, 35, 37, 39, 41, 43, 45. Okay, cool, cool, amazing, amazing, guys. So it is printing us the odd numbers from 1 to n. Okay, odd numbers from 1 to n. But we are not here to print the odd numbers. Instead, we have to count those odd numbers. We have to count how many odd numbers are there. We have to count the odd numbers. How do you do that? Quickly tell, how do you do that? Okay, maintain a count variable. A count variable. Okay, initialize this count variable with something which will not impact your answer. Suppose, okay, if you initialize it with 1, okay, you have 20 odd numbers from 1 to 45. From 1 to 45. So if you will initialize this count by 1, then it is not 20 number anymore. Like, suppose there are 20 numbers from 1 to 45, but if you initialize your count variable with 1, then your count will be 21, because 20 plus 1, because 20 is the original answer, and you are initializing the count that you are adding here. Okay, the answer will be wrong. So you cannot initialize your count with something that will impact your answer. So with what value I will initialize it? With 0. It means initially, before entering the for loop, initially there is not any odd number. That's why the count is 0. But when we will enter the for loop and check if this number is odd, then we will increment this count. Right? But for now, we will initialize it with 0. Why I'm initializing this count with 0? Because for now there is not any odd number, because we have not entered the for loop to see if there is any odd number. That's why the initial value will be 0. Now you will enter this for loop and check if your I modulo 2 not equals to 0. Instead of printing, you have to count. The odd numbers. That's why you will do count plus plus. You do a count plus plus. It means count plus plus. Why a count plus plus? It means initially, suppose you have found 15 odd numbers. When you find one more, you will do plus plus. It means you found one more. Write that, count plus plus. Incrementing, because how will you count something? 1 apple, 2 apple, 3 apple. You are saying count plus plus. Suppose your mother has given you 10 apples on the table, and she made you sat on a sofa, on a couch, and asking you that count these apples that were there on the maze. So how will you do that? You will say 1, 2, 3, 4. You're counting like this. They are present in sequence, like they are one after the another. 10 apples are laid on the are there on the maze, and you're counting like this: 1 apple, 2, 3, 4. You're pointing your fingers and saying 5, 6, 7, 8. And I already taught you, then when you are doing like this 1, 2, 3, 4, you are doing a I plus plus. See, here you are doing I plus plus. Now I is equal to 1, checking the condition if I is following that condition, moving inside this for loop, and then doing a I plus plus, making this 1 to 2. making this 1 to 2. That's why, same like here, you have started from 0, that for now there is not any odd element. But when you enter this for loop and get across odd elements, you will do a count plus plus. Can I show you the dry run of this question? Okay, let me show you the dry run and you will be much clear about this, right? You will be much clear. Initially your count is 0. I'm not commenting it off. It is not looking very nice. Okay, that's why I'm writing as it is. I'll erase it off when running the code. Count is equal to 0. Okay, enter this for loop. I equals to 1, 1 less than equal to 45. Condition is true. Enter this for loop and check if 1 modulo 2 equals to not equals to 0. Yes, if we divide 1 by 2, it will give us remainder which is not 0. If it is completely divisible by 2, it will give remainder as 0. It means it is an even number, but it is not divisible, so it will not completely divide, and that's why the remainder is not equal to 0. That's why this condition is followed, right? Okay, so 1 modulo 2 not equal to 0. That's why count plus plus. It means your count is become has become 1, right? Because you do a count plus plus. Okay, then increment this 1 and check if now your 1 I has become 2. Then check if 2 less than equal to 45. Yes, move inside this for loop. Check if 2 modulo 2 is equal to 0. If 2 modulo 2 not equal to 0, is this condition true? No, because 2 modulo 2 is your 0, but it is not equal to, so it is 0. So don't do anything. Don't enter inside this if condition and do a count plus plus, because this condition of if is false. When this if condition is true, then only you move inside now, and then you perform actions of this curly braces of if loop. Okay, again do a increment of I plus plus. I has become 3. Check if 3 less than equal to 45. Condition is true. Enter this for loop. Check if 3 modulo 2 not equal to 0. Yes, 3 modulo 2 is not equal to 0. Then do a count plus plus. Your count will become 2. Count equals to 2, right? Okay. Exit out of this for loop and then increment it. Your I will become 4. Check if 4 less than equal to 45. Yes. Enter this for loop and check if 4 modulo 2. If 4 modulo 2 not equal to 0, no, it is not true, because 4 modulo 2 is 0, because 4 divides the 2 completely, right? Then don't do a count plus plus, because this if condition is false, right? Okay. Again do I plus plus. Your I will become 5. Check if 5 less than equal to 45. Yes, it is true. Enter this for loop. Check if 5 modulo 2 not equal to 0. Yes, it is not equal to 0. Then do a count plus plus, right? Do a count plus plus. Count has become 3. Same way you have to do for every element up to 45. If I'll show you, no, the video will be very long, right? For if I'll show you the numbers from 5 to 45, it will be very long. So I have shown you for the first 5 numbers, that is 1 to 5. For the next 5 to 6 to 45 numbers, do dry run them on your copy with a pen, right? Copy pen pe you do a dry run for all the rest remaining numbers, right? So this is the dry run that I have taught you, like why you are doing plus plus. So from 1 to 5, your answer is 3. It means count of odd numbers is 3, which is true. Because from 1 to 5, your odd numbers are 1, 3, 5. It means they are 3 numbers. That's why it is true, right? So this is how you count the odd numbers. This is how you count the odd numbers, right? Shall we proceed to the next question? But before proceeding, I want to ask you a similar question to this. If I would change the question, count the even numbers in 1 to n. Count the even numbers from 1 to n. What would you have done? What changes will you make here in this piece of code to count the even numbers from 1 to n? Quickly tell me, quickly think in your mind. Is this will change? No. Is this 10th line will change? No. Is this will change? No. This will also not change, because you're counting only, right? This will also not change. This will also not change. Is this will change? Yes. This condition will differ. This condition will differ. This condition will differ. Instead of this not equal to, you have to put a equal to and then do a count plus plus, because the numbers which are divisible by 2, it means I modulo 2 equal to 0, then you have to do a count plus plus, then you have to count those numbers if they are divisible. Earlier we are counting who is not equal to 0, but now we will count for equal to 0. This is the change that you have to do in this code, and this question is asked more oftenly. This is the basic programming question that you will be asked or find on many coding platforms, right? Every programmer's journey start from these type of questions, right? Mine too started from these type of questions. That's why teaching you, right? Are you clear with this question, with this logic? Think about it, practice this on your paper, on your notebook with a pen again, right? So shall we proceed to the fifth question of the day? Shall we proceed? Okay, not fifth, sixth. Shall we proceed to the sixth question of the day? Shall we proceed to sixth question of the day, guys? Okay. So let us proceed. Let us erase it off, right? Okay. Now the next question is question number 6. Now you'll ask, where's the question number 5? The question number 5 was that one only. Count the even numbers, right? I have completed 2 questions in one by the one logic, right? Question number 6 is run a for loop from 1 to 17 and break out of the loop when you reaches a number less than 7, less than 7 or greater than 7 is more better, right? Greater than 7, because if you write na less than 7, then from one on one only it will break, because 1 is less than 7. That's why it will not impact much. That's why question is run a for loop from 1 to 17, break out of the loop when you reaches a number greater than 7. This is your question. How do you approach this question? We will do that lesson one also. Okay. The next the second part of this question is same same run a loop from 17 to 1, ulta, decreasing manner loop, break out of the loop when you reaches a number less than 7. Okay, this is fine for you. Like, we have covered both the cases. Now how will you approach this question? This is very simple. Think in your mind. You have what they are asking for. Of course you have to run a loop because multiple elements we have to tackle. Then they are asking something as break out of the loop. It means you have to write a break statement inside the for loop. I already told you, na? So by now you have seen the question and get an idea, must have got an idea that you have to run a for loop, and then inside it you have to write a break condition, break statement, because the question is demanding this, right? Now what you will do? What you will do, quickly tell me. Suppose I have already told you this question that suppose let me run a for loop. Let me run a for loop. You know now how to run a for loop. So let me run a for loop from 1 to 17. This is the thing that I have already taught you. Open curly braces and write this condition. If I equals to 5, break. This question you have already practiced. Are you aware of this question? What I have written? This is you are already aware of. If you reaches this sum 5 or 6, then break out of the loop. I have already shown you this question na, in the question that run a loop from 0 to 10 and break when you reaches 5. Then you are printing statements of I here. Remember, I know you must have remembered this question. When I taught you that what if you write this print statement above this if condition, then 5 will also get printed. But if you're not willing to print this 5, then first check the condition and then print the statement. Remember this question. This is covered in the last session, last video number, lecture number. Okay, this is covered in the previous lecture number 8, right? Or 9. Okay, so this is the basic code that you have practiced with for loop and writing a break statement inside it. But there the question is different. What is this question? They are asking to run a loop from 1 to 17. So we will write a loop from 1 to 17. Initialize I with 1, I less than equal to 17. Okay, first part of the question we have completed, right? Okay, break out of the loop. See the condition which is asking. When you reaches a number greater than 7, it means this condition have to be changed. This condition is saying break out of the loop when you reaches a number 5. But our condition says break out of the loop when you reaches a number greater than 7. So how will you write this? If I greater than 7, then break out of the loop. Only this is the small subtle change that you have to make in this code. This you already know, I equal to 5 break, but here it is I greater than equal to 7. It means run a for loop from 1 to 17. If I becomes greater than 7, then break out of the loop. How will you do that? How will you do this question? Let us run this question and then we will do the dry run of this question. How it is possible, right? Okay. So it is saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Why 7 got printed? Why 7 got printed? Because you said that break out of the loop when I greater than 7, not equal to. If you would have written greater than equal to 7, then this 7 would not have been printed on the screen, right? Now see, 7 is not printed, okay, because you have mentioned greater than equal to, but the question says greater than only. So let us do the dry run. See carefully, see carefully. So first your, see here, I will be explaining here only. I equals to 1. See, I'll be speaking very slowly. Please get this into your head, right? I started from 1. Check if 1 less than equal to 17. Yes, the condition is true. Move inside this for loop. Check if 1 greater than 7. It is not. Then don't break out of the loop. Print this one. So what will be printed? 1 will be printed. Yes. Then increment this I. I becomes 2. Then again check. 2 less than equal to 17. Yes, 2 is less than equal to 17. Move inside this for loop. Check. If 2 is greater than 7. No, it is not. Don't break out of this loop. Print this 2. Print this 2. Then again increment this I becomes 3. Check if 3 less than equal to 17. Yes. Move inside this for loop. Yes, check. If 3 greater than 7, no. Don't break out of the loop. Instead, print that C out I. Print that 3. Now your I becomes 4. Check if 4 less than equal to 17. Yes, it is true. Move inside this for loop. Check if 4 is greater than 7. No, don't break up the loop. Instead, print that 4. Your I again increments. Check if 5 less than equal to 17. Yes, the condition is true. Move inside this for loop. Check if 5 greater than 7. No, then don't break out of the loop. Print it. I becomes 6. Check 6 less than equal to 17. Yes. Check 6 greater than 7. No, don't break out of the loop. Print this 6. I becomes 7. Check 7 less than equal to 17. Sorry, I becomes 7. Check 7 less than equal to 17. Yes. Go inside this for loop and check 7 greater than 7. No. Don't break out of this for loop. Print this 7. Now your 7 becomes 8. Check if 8 less than equal to 17. Yes, 8 is less than equal to 17. Go inside this for loop. Check if 8 greater than 7. Yes. Break out of this for loop. You finally got this output. Are you clear with this? My ultimate question to you is, are you clear with this question, guys? Are you clear with this question? Tell me quickly. Think in your minds. Are you clear with this dry run shown to you? Okay, I am hoping that you are clear by now. Now, what is the second part of the question? Run a for loop from 17 to 1. Change this 1 to 17. Change this is greater than equal to 1 because you are running from loop from high to low. That's why greater than equal to is there, not less than equal to. Instead of doing this I plus plus, do a I minus minus because you have to come from 17 to 16, then 16 to 13, 16 to 15, then 14, 13, 12, like that, reverse. That's why do a I minus minus, right? Okay. Now, condition is check if I less than 7. Because if you're writing I greater than 7, then the loop will break in the first step only. Because 17, it is starting from 17 and 17 is greater than 7. That's why check opposite. How will you do that question? Same way. Let me show you dry run for 2 to 3 numbers and then do it, understand it by yourself, right? You started from 7. Check if 17 is greater than equal to 1. Yes. Move inside this for loop. Check if 17 is less than 7. No. Don't break out of the loop. Print this I. That is 17, right? Okay. Then do a I minus minus. Your 17 will become 16. Again, check if 16 is greater than equal to 1. Yes. Move inside this for loop. Check if 16 is less than 7. No. Don't break out of the loop. Print this 16. Print this I. Same way, suppose you have printed all the numbers by now, that 15, 15 dash 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 dash, you have reached up to 8 or 7. So you have reached up to 7. Okay. Now suppose you have checked for 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Now you reach the question 7, right? You reach this value 7. Check if 7 greater than equal to 1. Yes. Yes, 7 is greater than equal to 1. Go inside this for loop. Check if 7 less than 7. No. 7 is not less than 7. It is equal to 7. Okay. So let us run this codes. Okay. Let us run this code. What output it will give. Okay. So it is giving us 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Why it is giving, why it is printing 7 also? Because when we checked 7 less than 7, when we checked 7 less than 7, this is not true. Why this is not true? Because 7 is not less than 7. 7 is not less than 7. That's why we have not break out of the loop. We have not breaked out of the loop, right? That's why we have printed this 7. And then again, when we do I minus minus, I will become 6. Check if 6 is greater than equal to 1. Yes, it is greater than equal to 1. Check if 6 is less than 7. Yes, this condition is true. 6 is less than 7. That's why break out of this loop, right? That's why 6 is not printed. So I hope this question is also you have understood. Is this question clear to you guys? Students, this question is clear? Okay. I hope this question is clear. We have 3 to 4 questions, more questions to go, and then we will be winding up this session, right? Bear with me for some more interesting questions and we will be winding up the session, right? Okay. Let me erase it off. I hope you are clear with this. Let me erase it off. Let me erase it off. Yes. Question 7. Question 7. Okay. Okay. Now the next question is, find which number is larger from the two given numbers. Two given numbers. You have to find which number is larger out of two given numbers. How do you do that? How will you do that? So firstly, you will declare a int num, because you have to take two numbers. That's why int num. See out, you are asking from the user to enter the number 1. Enter the number 1 because you have to make comparison between two numbers, who is larger, who is smaller, like that. Okay, then you are taking input from the user for the number 1. This is number 1. Again, int, declare a variable with num2, ask from the user, enter the number 2, then take user's input. Okay, suppose user have given this 2 number. Now what will be your code? How will you check if what is larger, what is not? Okay, so which statement you will use to check, which is to check basically? Yes, you are thinking right. If you are thinking so, if else condition. So how will you write? If num1 greater than num2, then see out num num1 is larger because it is than greater than num2. Now why I have not mentioned this num1 and num2 inside these parentheses, this with this blue inside this, because I have a proper value of these. Okay, so I don't want to write num is larger than num2. Instead I want to write something like that 5 is larger than 2. I have to name this, that which number is larger than which. Okay, that's fine. Okay, else if num1 is less than num2. Earlier you checked if num1 is greater, print num1 is larger. Then you are checking num1 is less than, it means num2 is greater, right? Or you can write this also. Earlier you checked num1 greater than num2, now you will check if num2 greater than num1. Then what will you write? Num2 is greater than num1. Okay, fine. What is the third condition you will check? Why I have used else if? Because there are three conditions, not two. Else, what will come in this else part, the remaining thing? How do you compare two number? What is the possibility between two numbers? One number can be larger, one can be smaller. One can be smaller, one can be larger. Or, what is the last possibility? Tell me, guys. Both numbers can be equal. Both numbers can be equal. Then see out, num1 is equal to num2, right? This is how you will write the code for this. So how will you check which is larger, which is smaller? You will write if num1 is greater than num2, then num1 is greater than num2. You will check num2 is greater than num1, then else part may the remaining one, what condition have left, that is a equal to, right? Let me run this code and show you what output you will get. Okay, so it is asking me enter the number 1. So what will you okay, suppose I entered randomly 23, then I entered 12, then let us see what it says. 23 is larger than 12. See guys, 23 is larger than 12. Is it fine for you? Is it fine for you? 23 is larger than 10. Okay, so this is the question. This is the question, right? Okay. I hope you're clear with this question. I hope you're clear with this question. Okay. Okay. Now let us proceed to the next question and then we will be winding the session. Okay. Question 8. Question 8. Question 8 is design a game where you have to match your ticket number with the lottery number and see if you will get a lottery prize. This is also happens, this thing also happens in actual life now, where you will be buying a lottery ticket, and then if the drone number is matches with your lottery ticket, then you have won the lottery. Okay, that suppose 10 people purchases lottery, and then on some date they will gather on some ground or some house, then the lottery ticket will be drawn by some child or someone, and instead of in front of your eyes they will be speaking up that lottery number, it is 1256, and then you 10 people will check your tickets. If your ticket's number is also 1256, if this ticket matches, you shout like, oh, my ticket matches with this lottery number. Then they will say, congratulations, you have won the prize. Congratulations, you have won the prize. So how will you proceed with this? What will you use here? Like, what will you use? You can use anything. You can use multiple if else conditions, you can use switch case statement, you can use go to statement. Go to statement will be very nice. Okay, so go to statement will be, this is a game where you will be given five chance. If in this five chance, suppose if in this okay, go to statement is something like which will continue until your number matches with the original. So I think go to statement will again and again ask you if your input matches the output. If it matches, then it will allow you to move out of that loop. Otherwise, it will move you in loop again and again. So I think that will not be fine. Then what will be fine? Tell me quickly. I think switch case statement will be fine here. You have to give a, like, let me tell you how it will be implemented, and then this is your homework. You have to do all this by yourself. Let me tell you the basic syntax of how will you do that. You will ask from user ticket number, their ticket number. Okay, you will ask see out, enter the ticket number, enter the ticket number. Then user will be entering the ticket number, right? Okay, this is the camel case form of declaring a variable. I already told you this thing in the first lecture. Okay, now you will write a switch, then you will write ticket number, then you will write some cases that if your ticket number, case 1, if your ticket number is this, case 2 I'm randomly writing case 1, this, case 2 if your ticket number is 34, case this if your ticket number is 145. These are the four lotteries that suppose five winners, five lucky draws are there, okay. Case, suppose it is 32. So these are five lucky draws. If your lottery number matches with any of these five lucky draws, then you are getting one of the five lottery. You are among the one of the five lottery winners, right? So this is how you will implement. This is your homework. Use the switch case statement and write the code for it. Okay, this is your question, that out of the five lucky draws, you have to find if out of those five, is there any chance that you can be one of those five lucky draw winners, right? By writing five switch case statements, four switch case statement, four cases, and then one default case, right? Okay, five cases or one default, anything. In default you will write that you are not among the five lucky draw winners. Anything, it's on you. How will you do that? Practice this question, design this question by yourself, right? Okay, so here is the last question for this session. So let me tell you this one also, and then we will be ending the session. What is this last question? Tell me quickly. Okay, like how will you tell, because the questions are with me only. You are coming across first time to these questions, right? Okay, question number 9 is check which is the largest number which is the largest number from three numbers which is the largest number. Okay, out of three numbers, suppose I am giving you some three numbers. Suppose I'm not taking input from user. I am giving 10, I am giving you 20, I am giving you 30. Now I am asking you, out of these three numbers, which is the largest number? I am asking you, out of these three numbers, which is the largest number? How will you check? What statement you will use? You will use multiple if else conditions, right? Multiple if else condition will be fit here. How will you check that? Okay, so how will you check that? You will write like if. Okay, can you tell like what is the difference between larger and largest? You must have studied that in grammar subject. Larger is when you're comparing two things. two numbers, two apples, two grapes, two fans, two coolers, like that. Two things. And largest is when you compare more than two, three, four, five, six, like that. Okay, then it is largest. So you are comparing between three numbers. That's why it is largest, not larger, right? So can you tell, like, when your 10 will be largest? If it is greater than both num2 and num3, then it will be greatest, right? How will you write that? Num1 greater than num2, and if num1 has to be largest, then it has to be definitely greater than from num1 as well as num2. Then that's why it will be largest, because it has to clear both the conditions to be the largest number. Num1 has to be greater than from this num2, and num1 has to be greater than from this num3. So by mistake it's 2, it's 3, right? Then you will write num1 is the largest number, is the largest number. Clear with this syntax? I hope you are clear with this syntax, right? Okay. Now, else if why else if? Because you have to write three else if conditions. One for number one, if number one is greater than equal to, like if it is greater than number two and number three. One for this number two, if it is greater than number one and number three. One for this number three, if it is greater than both the above two numbers, right? Because if any number has to be greatest of three numbers, then it has to be largest from the rest two numbers, right? You will write num2 greater than num1. Okay, it has qualified this condition, suppose, and it has to qualify one more condition to be the largest, not larger, largest. It has to be greater than 1 and 2, 1 and 3, both the numbers. See out num2 is the largest number, is the largest number, right? Okay. Now what condition is left? You have just not checked this third case. So write it in else part, because this is the last condition. Else, do you know, like, this else block is for what condition? For this condition. If num3 is greater than this num1, and if num3 is also greater than this num2, then this is the else part. See out num3 is the largest number, right? Is the largest number. Clear with this? Clear with this? Okay. I hope you are clear with this question, right? I hope you are clear with this question. So let us run it off and see which is the largest number. Oh, here I have written some typo mistake I have done. 30 is the largest number. Okay, 30 is the largest number. I hope you all are very much clear with this syntax. If you want to write if else here, else if here, sorry, you can also write that. There is no problem. You can also avoid that else part, right? You can write like that. If num3 greater than num2. If you want to see like what this else part will contain, like by doing this else part, you're not clear, if you're not clear like for what case this else part is there, then you can manually write here that condition. Num3 greater than num1 and num3 greater than num2. You can write else if else if else if. No need to write else as well. It's your choice. Like if you want to see the third condition, then write that else if. Otherwise you are very, yeah, like no, that there is no round parenthesis in this. There is no round parenthesis used in else. You have directly curly braces. That's why. If you want to see like for what condition the third part is there, then you can manually write it. Let us run it again, right? Yeah, it is showing 30 is the largest number. I hope you all are clear with this question as well. Okay. So in this video, we have covered 9 questions. Are you clear with all the 9 questions? I recommend you to practice these nine questions on your notebook with a pen, right? Okay, or a pencil, right? Okay, so I hope you guys liked this video and then gained so much of knowledge on how to solve different types of questions of programming questions with the concept of for loops and conditional statements that you have learned in the previous sessions, right? So I'll be making one more video on practice set questions, that practice question set 3 on bit manipulation, on bit bytes question, right? It is very important. Bit manipulation question are many times asked in interviews, right? That's why. Okay, so I hope you have learned much. Thank you, students, for your time. Have a nice day. All the best. Bye bye, guys. Bye bye.